The Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra has been bringing classical music to the Lowcountry for 39 years. For 25 of those years, they have sponsored the Hilton Head International Piano Competition, one of the leading international piano competitions in the United States. Wondering how an international piano competition, the only one in the southeastern U.S., took root and has thrived on Hilton Head Island for 25 years? The first competition, in 1996, had 16 competitors and 1 judge. Each competitor had 20 minutes to perform, and everything was over in a day. Today's audiences look forward to 6 days of solo performances from 20 competitors, culminating in an orchestral finale with the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra. 427 pianists from 53 countries and 6 continents have graced our stage, a veritable United Nations. We have awarded more than $500,000 in cash prizes and underwritten 14 Carnegie Hall debuts. Live audiences have totaled over 12,000. Thousands more join us via live stream. People in 65 countries logged in to hear the HHIPC last year. From the beginning, the competition took on the personality of the Lowcountry, relaxed, warm, and welcoming. Over 100 local families have opened their homes to host these amazing young artists. Given the HHIPC's success, they could have left things well enough alone, right? But no. 2011 saw the introduction of a competition for young artists, ages 13 to 17. In 2018, we offered the first festival called Bravo Piano. Now, every 3rd year, the HHIPC steps outside the world of classical piano competitions, opening the door to chamber music, jazz, and other genres in which the piano is the central instrument. Audiences loved it. So, who are the beneficiaries of the HHIPC? Obviously, the young artists who come here to compete. Where are they now? They are on the concert stage in recital halls all over the globe. They are guest artists of the world's finest orchestras. They have earned master's and doctorate degrees and joined the faculties of renowned universities and conservatories. They are Steinway artists. They are recording for commercial labels, racking up Grammy nominations along the way. Of course, that's only half the story. We, the audience, are the other beneficiary. These amazing young artists come all the way to Hilton Head to play for us. We get to see and hear them live. Their music never fails to thrill and uplift. It makes us happy and proud of our island home. Many organizations agonize over their mission statements and then relegate them to a desk drawer. Thanks to the visionaries who were not afraid to dream big 25 years ago, the HHIPC lives its mission every single day, encouraging and supporting excellence in the performance of classical piano, showcasing the talents of pianists on the thresholds of their careers.
Hello, I'm Bradley Fuller, host and producer of South Carolina Public Radio's Sonatas and Soundscapes, a live weekday classical music program, and I have to say I'm really excited also to be a host for this evening's musical feast, an inspiring, just awesome performance-packed evening to benefit the Hilton Head International Piano Competition. Now, as a pianist or piano player, I have to say, I mean, in the context of this evening, I hesitate to call myself a pianist, but as someone who's played a little piano and also as a classical music radio host, This is just a great opportunity to hear these performances and to share with this amazing arts organization here in the Palmetto State. With me is Mona Huff, director of the HHIPC, and together we're going to guide you through this hour of special guests, wonderful music, and tell you how you can help the HHIPC as well. First, though, we'd like to take a moment to thank Blake White, the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra board member and founder of Lean Ensemble Theater, for that really amazing introduction. I mean, just great. Had the humor in there too, and also just the phenomenal performing, which, by the way, featured pianist Kevin Chen in his first prize-winning performance of the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto No. 1. If I had to tell you that, maybe you also knew it from the big chords opening the introduction. Just great, start to finish, and a phenomenal performance there.
Indeed.
By that 15-year-old who visited from Calgary, Alberta.
Yes. Thank you, Bradley, and welcome, and we are so happy to have you here, truly. You can see sonatas and, you can hear sonatas and soundscape.
Working on the C part.
Right. At the South Carolina public radio stations that offer news and music. And if by some chance you are out of that area, you can listen to it online. So please tune in. He has wonderful programming. We all enjoy very much listening. So thank you for sharing the time with us.
Absolutely.
So welcome everybody to our living room. I assume you're in yours. And I want to thank Custom Audio Video and Sandy Benson for providing this wonderful space for us so that we feel like we're coming to you from our home to yours. Also, Interior Motives did a wonderful job making this feel decorated to the T. So, we hope you enjoyed the video. I know that we loved it, and I can keep watching it over and over again. And I want to make special thank you to Julie Williams and Bob Koenig, who worked tirelessly with me on the production of the video. So bravo to them, really great job. So the HHIPC, as you can see, is a well-known competition. If you walked into a conservatory in Beijing and said Hilton Head International Piano Competition, they would all know about it. So despite our small size, we are well known. But one of the problems of being a small size competition is, I mean by the small size, the location. We are a resort community, basically. And so all the other major competitions are in places like Salt Lake City, Cleveland, Fort Worth. They have big corporations that can help to support them. We have to rely on our town of Hilton Head, all those small local businesses to help foot the bill, and of course, probably most importantly, all of you. Those of you who come to the competition or come to the festival and have loved it so very much, just as we do, and for helping us by chipping in to foot the bill. So, I don't think you realize that to put on a competition or a festival costs about $250,000. It's a lot of money to raise. And we've been very fortunate that we have some devoted supporters who have already kicked in a huge amount of money. But we have one big piece that we have yet to fund, and that's the finale. And that's what we're going to focus on tonight, is raising the money to fund the finale. Now, what does it cost? Well, way over the $50,000 that our target is for tonight. But you should know that in order to have a finale, we have to put all the musicians, all 62 of them, on the stage. And though they're the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra musicians, we have to pay for them as well. We have our maestro. We have to pay for the First Presbyterian Church, which is our performance hall. We have to pay for the beautiful Steinway pianos that are brought down from New York and Columbia for these performances. So it's an awful lot of money to raise. And I want to tell you that we've actually raised 20% of that $50,000 already. So thank you to those who donated prior to this evening's event. And I want you also to understand, Musical Feast is our only fundraising event of the year. Now, usually we do an event, we gather at a country club, We have a glass of wine or 2 or 3. We have a lovely dinner, and we have one of our past performers come and offer a piano recital for us. And then we do the auction, or however we're going to raise our money for whatever is determined the need for that year. Well, obviously with COVID, we can't do that. I'm sure you saw the fist bumps with, the elbow bumps, I should say, for Kevin and John and our concertmaster, because that was the very last performance on the island before COVID shut the island down. So we're very nervous, clearly, about pivoting to a virtual event. We don't know what that's going to take, how successful we can be. We're counting on you, of course. But there are some benefits to having it virtual. One is normally we bring one performer. This year, you're going to have the benefit of performances from 6 pianists because everything is virtual, so it's wonderful. We also have people who can come to the musical feast who never would come because they live in Canada or in California or wherever. But now, being a virtual event, they can all join us. So welcome everybody from all the places where you are viewing us. There is a challenge, however, to a virtual event. When we have our in-person event and I ask for donations for a particular cause, everybody's got a paddle. So the first person that raises their paddle gets encouragement from other people, and they get enthused and they raise their paddle. Well, we don't all sit in the same room tonight. So we're going to ask you to keep tabs on that progress bar and see how you can be inspired by our performers and by the progress we're making, and hopefully you'll kick in as well. So we hope you enjoy this evening. I know you'll be inspired to donate. And a donation of any size will be gratefully accepted. And you can donate in a variety of ways. You can donate by texting HHIPC to 41444, or you can click on the donate button you see on your webpage in the upper right-hand corner. And when you donate, you can donate by check even. So please join us in supporting this endeavor.
And as you're making that pledge of support, you know, you'll have some inspiring moments to provide a little soundtrack for you, as Mona was alluding to this evening. First up, a pianist well known to HHIPC fans. He was prize winner of the 2007 competition and also guest artist at the inaugural Bravo Piano Festival in 2018.
Indeed.
Charlie Albright. Big name. He has been described as one of the most gifted musicians of the generation and performs worldwide before COVID. You know, the before times. I guess you got to say that. But hopefully, you know, once this pandemic fades on away, he'll be doing that once more. And truly has collaborated with some phenomenal names who are at the top of their respective fields. Yeah. So violinist Joshua Bell, cellist Yo-Yo Ma, singer Bobby McFerrin. I mean, I had the chance to feature some Bobby McFerrin recently on Sonatas and Soundscapes, collaborating with Chick Corea, the late Chick Corea. And was just blown away by his, what a great vocalist he is. And to think that he's going to be collaborating, or has collaborated with Charlie Albright, I mean, this is just top musical talent there. Now, on top of that, though, Charlie isn't just a well-rounded musician, and this was of special interest to me. He graduated from Harvard College, the class of 2011, with a bachelor's degree in economics, and at the same time, graduated from the New England Conservatory of Music. I am also a double major in music and econ, did not study at those institutions, but, you know, I just wonder what's going on. Someone else has this same kind of odd juxtaposition there, I guess, of discipline. So good for...
Pretty
good for,
amazing.
Certainly, and good for him. Was also the first classical pianist in the school's joint program, and then in 2014 he earned the artist diploma from Juilliard. He was also first artist in residence for Performance Today, and that's the show that comes on right before Sonatas and Soundscapes on South Carolina Public Radio. So a great highlight for younger artists there. Very much known for his improvisational skills. You're going to hear that in a second here. And just bringing this kind of infectious joy, this energy to audiences. And you can't help but smile and almost move. Like it's going to make you move kind of out of your seat when you hear him. And on top of all that, a real firm believer in education, philanthropy in that mission as well. Founded the Charlie Albright Scholarship and Charlie Albright Piano. in collaboration with the Centralia College Foundation in his hometown of Centralia, Washington. And that scholarship provides financial aid to music students, also helps to pay for the purchase and maintenance of a new 9-foot Steinway. And I mean, really, this is just someone who is sharing his love for music, not just by performing, but by making sure that other budding musicians had that kind of access.
Paying it forward.
Paying it forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a really phenomenal musician, a phenomenal human being. And well, now we're going to pay a little of his performance forward to you. He's coming to us from his home in Seattle. Really excited to share this with you. So, hey, Charlie, how's it going?
Hey everyone, Charlie Albright here. Long time no see. I hope you are all doing well and staying safe and healthy, especially with all the craziness that's been going on lately. I'm so honored to be here tonight and to share some music with you in support of this evening, Music Feast, and to support the Bravo Piano Festival. You know, the Hilton Head Symphony and the competition and Bravo Piano, the whole of Hilton Head Island has such a special meaning to me because you are all, I've been going there since, it's been a long time ago I've been going there. And every time I return to perform and see all of you, it's so wonderful. It's like coming home and meeting family again. So I'm so happy to participate. Today, I'm going to play 3 short pieces for you. 2 of them are going to be improvised, and then one of them is one thing that I'm going to play because why not? But the theme is music of the Americas. So I thought, well, for the first piece, I'd like to do an improvisation on, a piece of music that's somehow related to the Americas. So I was thinking, well, what could I play that might kind of hit home and be something that might be a good piece to kind of use the theme as the basis of a simple improv off of. And I thought, well, what better than America the Beautiful? So let's give it a try. For the next improv, I thought I'd make a short one that was based entirely on nothing. I wanted to make it up. So as you know, and I've done it out in Hilton Head before too, where I'll oftentimes ask the audience for notes. I'll say, maybe I can get 3 or 4 notes from the audience, like a B flat or a C sharp or whatever, and I'll use those random notes to make a random melody, use that random melody as the basis of a random, well, hopefully not so random, sounding piece of music, and that becomes the improvisation. Well, because this part is pre-recorded, I unfortunately can't get notes from the audience. But I can just make something up entirely. So let's do a quick improvisation. We'll call it, I don't know. We'll leave it in the comments below. Well, let me know afterward. Here we go. Boy, you never know what you're going to get with one of those improvisations. But before we wrap it all up, I want to thank you all again for having me here tonight to share in this great evening. And I hope to see you all again very soon after all this craziness passes in person, because that would be great. I always love coming back to Hilton Head. And for the last one, I think we got to do the piece that I've played now, even at Carnegie Hall on the main stage. I was scared to do it there, but I thought, why not? And it ended up being pretty fun. So here it is. This is Great Balls of Fire. Have a great evening.
Wow, what a way to start the evening. Yeah, we're having a great evening.
Rip roaring.
Everything. The house is rocking here, maybe yours is. And, it just reminds me, I think it's high time I programmed some Jerry Lee Lewis on Sonatas and Soundscapes.
There you go.
Definitely some Charlie Albright, too. But, just an amazing performance and versatile musician, America the Beautiful, Great Balls of Fire. What more could you ask for?
Really. Awesome.
But we have a guest joining us now.
We do indeed. So I'd like to introduce Alan Jordan, our president and CEO of the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me in your living room. It's great.
We're glad to have you here.
And we're glad that you are all here tonight also.
So true.
So, we're talking about a festival, right?
We are.
Okay. Tell me about it.
So Alan has been here for a little over a year, so he wasn't here for the first festival. So we have been doing competitions for 20-odd years, and we decided that there are so many other possibilities for the piano to shine that we should have a place to showcase piano and. So we came up with this idea of a festival that celebrates the piano and. And so we're doing not just solo piano and piano with orchestra, which is basically what our competition comprises. But we have chamber music and jazz, and we have 2 pianos, and as you'll see soon, and many other combinations. Even with the piano in jazz, we've increased the piano to not just have a combo, but this year to have a vocalist. So lots of different changes, piano and.
Absolutely. And the thing that of course, when I first got here, you and John and others were saying, hey, we got this idea for the theme, okay? Okay, some Rachmaninoff, some Tchaikovsky. No, they wanted to do a festival of the Americas. So what we're going to do over this week plus is all music from the Americas. So from Canada down to the bottom of South America. And you would think that, wow, we'd really be scrambling. We'd be doing lots of Google searches to figure out what the heck we could perform, right? But no, the frustration is that we had to not program so many works. In fact, we could probably do another one of these at some point down the road. And there's such great masterworks that people are going to hear. And the other nice thing about the festival is it gives our audience and our followers another opportunity to see many of the previous competitors. I mean, we bring them back to the island, so they have variety in who the performers are. There are some amazing names that we'll be bringing in, some former competitors. We're using local talent. We have Lavon Stevens, we have Martin Lesh coming, and then we're doing music, the entire gamut of music, including featuring our local Gullah tradition music, which is great.
Absolutely. I mean, how important is that to the Low Country? And how can we have a festival of American music of the Americas without featuring Gullah Geechee influences?
Right, and I think another neat thing about this is that we are going to be moving this festival around, not just on Hilton Head Island, but there are at least 2 performances that are slated to happen in Bluffton, and of course, so it's going to be great.
Yeah, and I mean, we have composers from the early the late 1700s. In fact, Edward Reinagel, one of the composers that you'll hear, was actually the piano teacher of Martha Washington's children, if you can imagine.
There's name dropping,
right? And
Number
we
one.
have a world premiere of a commissioned work by a young American woman composer, Hannah Lash. And we're really excited about that as well. So from the very early period to the really late period, a wonderful, wonderful time, I think.
Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. So please think hard about helping us out so we can produce the best possible festival for you. And I do want to say that as the donations are coming in, we have 3 couples who are big supporters of the piano competition. Mary and Mike Briggs, Heather and Bob Chiricella, and Judy and Bill Thorpe, who have each volunteered to match up to $2,500 of donations. So if we can get you all to donate, that'll give us, it'll double the value of your donation for sure, and we will be well on our way to meeting our goal. So again, don't forget, you can text HHIPC at 41444, or you can go to that little donate button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen and press that and donate by credit card or by check. So.
Really is music and a festival to get excited about. And our next performer for this evening is someone who really represents the theme celebrating the Americas well, because she's a dual citizen of Peru and Canada. So I mean, this is a true representative of the Americas and also another great pianist. Priscilla Navarro, and Hilton Head met her in 2019, so fairly recently when she competed here, and right away was a crowd favorite with her disposition, her energy, just everything she brought to the keyboard, those amazing piano skills.
She was a wonderful performer.
And I think what's pretty remarkable about Priscilla is that she began studying the instrument at age 9, which, maybe if you're just looking for some extracurricular, you think, well, 9's about when you would study an instrument or pick up a sport or something. But for a lot of pianists at this level, that's seen by some people as kind of late, kind of a late start. So it's really incredible. She started at age 9 and now has just really progressed so quickly. She was just accepted into the Leeds, which is one of the foremost music competitions in the world. So big name there. Made her Carnegie Hall solo recital debut in 2013 and has performed in other major halls in the US, Europe, China, South America. So, I mean, really has traveled around the globe with her talents. She's equally at home as a soloist, as a chamber musician, and as someone who performs alongside an orchestra, in a concerto type setting. So very versatile there. And knows her stuff, graduated summa cum laude from Florida Gulf Coast University and holds a master's degree and an artist diploma from the University of Miami, and is currently pursuing a doctorate in piano performance and pedagogy, and simultaneously studies at the Imola Piano Academy in Italy. So really is just taking her talents even further and further. And really given this year's theme, we're just absolutely thrilled that she's going to be performing at Bravo Piano, celebrating the music of the Americas in June. And also more immediately, we're thrilled that we get to hear from her right now. Hey, Priscilla.
Hello, my name is Priscilla Navarro, and I am so excited to return to Hilton Head Island this 2021 for the Bravo Piano Festival. I will be performing a recital of works by Latin American composers. Many of these pieces are inspired by dances and songs from different countries in Latin America. The composers include Argentinian composer Alberto Ginastera, Mexican composer Manuel Maria Ponce, Cuban composer Ignacio Cervantes, and live-in Peruvian composer Jimmy Lopez. I will also be performing a set of virtuosic etudes by Earl Wild, based on songs by George Gershwin, which are always a favorite of mine. I hope you have been staying safe and healthy during this pandemic, and I look forward to sharing this beautiful music with you.
Wow, what a sensitive performance, and just, I mean, who doesn't like Gershwin, right?
Really. I expect some who are dancing around their living room floor.
I almost danced. Maybe I did. I don't know. But really phenomenal performance there.
Yeah.
And Gershwin, one of those composers like Darius Milhaud and, of course, Duke Ellington later, where these lines between genres like classical and jazz just start to blur. And, you know, I think there's so much artistry, so much talent in both of them. And it's just really amazing to see how, you know, over the decades, past century even, they've kind of met together, and some people are quite skilled as performers of both. And certainly, I mean, the piano, I think, as a medium is just such a versatile instrument, so people can really play, you know, works that are 300 years old and works from the early jazz age, maybe that are about 100 years old or much more recent. So it's an amazing instrument, and jazz is a component of, you know, this year's big event. And speaking of that genre, we're going to go to a little jazz piano now with Sullivan Fortner, someone who definitely added to his fan base when the Sullivan Fortner Trio visited Hilton Head to perform at a special event presented by the HHIPC.
Indeed.
A couple of years ago. Now, he grew up in one of the great American jazz cities, New Orleans, and started playing piano at age 7 and was hailed as a virtuoso even before he graduated high school. So strong start there, and now at age 35, he has really been on the jazz scene in an impactful and a meaningful way for over a decade. Among his awards are Leonore Annenberg Arts Fellowship, the 2015 Cole Porter Fellowship from the APA, the American Pianist Association.
Very big group.
And on top of that, the 2016 Lincoln Center Award for Emerging Artists. So
Wow.
a trophy case there,
Yeah.
if you will. And has a Bachelor of Music degree in Jazz Studies from Oberlin Conservatory, where he studied with Peter Takash. I believe has
And
some...
Peter Takash has been our jury chair and a judge here several times.
So connections that we're
Yeah,
finding, you know,
abound.
with HHIPC, and also as Sullivan has a Master of Music in Jazz Performance from the Manhattan School of Music. So some fine institutions there, part of his music education, and we're really excited that his remarkable talents are going to be again on display this year at the Bravo Piano Festival, along with Grammy-winning vocalist Cecile McLaurin Salvant. So 2 performers there. It's going to be great. Tonight, it's just Sullivan, though, and we're in for a treat. Very excited to have him. So hello, Sullivan, and welcome.
Hello, my name is Sullivan Fortner, and I am so honored to be coming back to Hilton Head on June 9th, celebrating the music of the Americas. You know, jazz is the quintessential music of America, in my opinion. And the American Songbook has definitely made a fine imprint in American music. So join me on June 9th. I'll be featuring the great and talented singer, Miss Cecile McLaurin Salvant. So come on out. We'll have a great time. See you then.
what a phenomenal performance. I mean, he brings so much style to the keyboard. Like,
Really.
I could have kept listening to that.
I know.
Really great performance there by
Just
Sullivan.
comes through his fingers somehow.
Yeah, just magic. And the awesome music continues now with someone who may need no introduction to Low Country residents. Pretty familiar name around here, Lavon Stevens. He's an acclaimed singer, pianist, as you're going to hear tonight, songwriter, producer, and recording artist. So, I mean, really well-rounded musician in Lavon Stevens, a beloved member of the Hilton Head Island music scene, and he was actually born in Thunderbolt, Georgia. Now, his extensive repertoire includes jazz, blues, contemporary, and gospel music, and all that's influenced by his roots. And this is something he's really paid special attention to, and I'm going to get to that in just a bit. But his band gigs regularly at the Jazz Corner on Hilton Head.
Thursday nights, I think. Yep.
Great night for jazz. Thursday.
Yep.
I mean, every night's a great night for jazz, right?
Yeah.
But so that's something to keep in mind. He's also board member of the Junior Jazz Foundation, which offers instruments, scholarships, classes, seminars, all to really get young people encouraged to explore the art of jazz. And if we can get more Lavon Stevens, get more great jazz artists in the world, I mean, that's wonderful. And again, seeing that theme of philanthropy on top of all the great musical accomplishments with the artists tonight. And specifically, as I was mentioning earlier, Lavon is a passionate advocate for the native island community, serving as the chair of the Gullah Geechee Cultural Preservation Task Force. Now, if you're not familiar with the Low Country and its culture, the Gullah Geechee people are descendants of Africans who were enslaved, brought over in the 1600s, and worked on the rice, indigo, and cotton plantations of the lower Atlantic coast. But even while held in slavery, they held on to these incredible extensive traditions involving art, involving cuisine, and also music, which is what we're going to focus on tonight. And the influence, the extent of the Gullah Geechee musical traditions goes on into a lot of 20th century, 21st century American music forms like, gospel, blues, jazz, obviously, and even hip hop. I mean, just so many of these are tied back to this part of the country, Hilton Head area, through the Gullah Geechee community. So, I mean, amazing history there, and wonderful that it has a representative in someone like Lavon. Now, when he plays at Bravo Piano in June, he's going to be joined by Kiana Parker, who is a Grammy Award-winning member of the band Ranky Tanky. So another big South Carolina music group name there. And she's from Charleston, so very much some low country music making with that combination. But we're really excited to have Lavon with us tonight and to enjoy some great music. So Lavon, welcome.
Levon Stevens. I'm looking forward to Bravo Piano, celebrating the music of the Americas. We'll be taking a journey to explore the music of spirituals and blues and gospel and jazz, and the influence of the Gullah Geechee culture that it had on popular American music and certainly on our lives together. Join me. I look forward to seeing you at Bravo Piano.
Really wonderful performance there, and someone who's a great keyboardist and singer, and just combines that in such moving music. So thanks to Levon for sharing that with us this evening. Now, he joined us virtually, and we have someone else joining us live here in our living room. Mona, would you like to make the introduction?
It would be my pleasure. I would like to introduce to everybody our maestro and music director, John Morris Russell.
Hey, Mona.
Hey, John.
Hey, how are you all doing?
Doing all
Great.
right, yeah.
Oh, this
Great.
is fantastic. This has been so much fun. We've been all in the next room, like watching all the videos and cheering everyone on. I mean, it's been really exciting. And to see all of the names on the screen going down of all of our supporters from all over the country who are doing their part to contribute and to keep this great festival going.
Amen. Really. We're very appreciative, truly. So let's talk about the capstone, the end point, the finale of the festival.
Right. Well, Mona, you and we've been talking about this for years. And I have a great passion for American music making. Especially because a lot of people think of American music as just being this one big blob, and the thing is, it's just like it's so incredibly diverse and is so nuanced.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about years about being able to present something like this. So we have 3 works from like 3 centuries presented, and we start off with MacDowell, the MacDowell Piano Concerto, a piece that. I've kind of always wanted to do, but it is totally steeped in European traditions. You know, I mean, it's
Brahms, German.
Yeah, right.
Good stuff.
You know, and so many composers of that era, you know,
Right.
they felt that everything had to come from Europe, or else, you know, it wasn't good. And yet, on the other hand, it still is this gorgeous piece, and you know, has this kind of American glow to it. And I get to work with Reed Tetzlaff for the very, very first time, who's one of our
Wonderful.
winners, right?
Yeah, he was a medalist in 2016, a magnificent pianist, actually. He's been back to perform for us
Right.
as a recitalist.
But this is going to be my very first time to work with him.
Yeah.
And it's always fun, whether it's here in Hilton Head or with orchestras around the world, that I work with every once in a while. You bump into someone who's been here as a competitor or a winner, and it's just instantly, you know, we're family, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and then we're also going to be doing a concerto by Florence Price, who's been getting a lot of big press lately. We've rediscovered this great American composer, and with Michelle Kahn, who's going to be performing the piece on piano. It's a piano concerto in one movement, and she is just running with this piece. It's kind of like her big showpiece now. She just performed it. I mean, just like a month ago,
Last
with
month,
with
yeah.
the Philadelphia Orchestra, and it's gotten, you know, all sorts of international press on her performances, and so I'm just really, really excited about that one.
And this will be only, I think, the second time that she will perform it with the original orchestration of Florence Price, which had been lost
Right.
since forever.
Right. So many of her works. I mean, she was not really very well accepted in the mid 20th century.
Right.
But it's only been within the last couple decades that we've been rediscovering how important her work is. And I mean, there's this building in Chicago that was being ripped down, and one of the workmen was in the attic, and they saw this big trunk, and just, you know, before the wrecking ball hit, you know, they grabbed it and opened it up, and there were just a slew of her compositions, including that orchestration, right?
I mean, it's
Amazing.
like, yeah, I mean, you know, you have photos on your phone. Sometimes you have these different filters you use. And I think of orchestration kind of as like, what filter are you going to go for that, you know, social media post? And it's like, I mean, that can really change. I mean, you can still pick out the same things, but that orchestration just gives it the colors. And I mean, you really get a different sense for what the composer had in mind. So
yeah,
I'm excited for that.
Thrilled. And then we finish up with a piece by Stuart Goodyear. And Stuart is a very, very good friend, a phenomenal Canadian pianist. He hasn't performed here, but at all,
No, not at all.
Oh, God, folks! I'm so thrilled about this. Stuart and I go way back when I was a music director of the Windsor Symphony Orchestra in Ontario. And he came and he performed with us several times, usually for the Windsor Canadian Music Festival. And there was, at some point in time, I had suggested that, you know, hey, sometime, you know, we'd love to do Rhapsody in Blue with you. And he said, John, I'm not going to do Rhapsody in Blue, but I have this idea. I said, yes. I'd like to write my own Rhapsody. You know, he always has that intensity
Yes.
when he looks at it. I'd like to write my own Rhapsody. Anyway, and we had kind of planned for it to be performed with the Windsor Symphony Orchestra, but his concertizing kind of got in the way, and he just got too busy. And so it was only maybe about 4 or 5 years later, he came and was a guest of the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra, and lo and behold, he's performing his Callaloo concerto, which is kind of his answer to the Gershwin Rhapsody in Blue. And he performed with the Cincinnati Symphony. I said, how did Cincinnati get this? And I don't get you in Hilton Head. So we made sure to make this work. But just like Gershwin, he takes all of these traditional Jamaican tunes and mixes them together. I mean, you had said the word has something to do with...
It's a
It's
food
like
item,
a
yeah.
stew,
I think
I
maybe like hopping, I don't know if it's Hoppin' John. I don't want to make the wrong comparison, but I think it might be in the same, something similar.
Lots of
For
different flavors.
A local reference, yeah.
Lots of flavors, some spice,
Right.
some roux.
Greens, lots of greens,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go. And so it's got lots of little movements, and like the Gershwin, it's a bigger orchestra. It has some saxophones, percussion, and it's this jazzy a piece of, you know, American music. I mean, you know, when we think of America, it's like North, South America. You know, it's that Western Hemisphere, and all the different flavors of all the different cultures that come together. Right. And you know, a lot of people like to think of America as being a melting pot. No, I like it to be callaloo.
Oh,
You know,
there you go.
because it's
Forget
got
the
all the
syllable,
different
forget
flavors
the
that come together and
melting
kind
pot.
of
Yeah,
work
there
next
you
to each
go.
other. Anyway, he's a fantastic performer, and Michelle Kahn, I got to work with her with Cincinnati Symphony several years ago, and she is just an absolute delight. Reed, I've heard so much about him, so looking forward to it. This kind of reunion of coming all together,
Right.
and all of us expressing that sense of America. And we talk about these 3 centuries of music, represented with the 19th century, and then the 20th century with Florence Price and Stewart in the 21st century. But you know what? There's a lot that is similar to all of these works. And I think the idea of American music, if there's one thing that pervades all 3 of these pieces, it's that sense of buoyant optimism that says we can. We can take a rover and we can land on Mars, right? Yay. We are going to get people vaccinated and we're going to get through this COVID thing. I mean, it's that sense of optimism. We are going to put on a piano festival. We can do it because we have the people and the strength and the creativity that is uniquely American. And when I think about a concert that brings this whole festival together, and these 3 works and these 3 performers, it's going to be a real joyous event.
I totally agree. I'm so
Sounds
excited.
so excited. You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, that's.
So keep in mind, for this finale, you heard of all the extra musicians we're going to need on that stage. We need your help. So please think about giving if you haven't already.
Yeah, and more inspiring music is coming your way while you're deciding what's right for you. And I got to say, I can't believe, first off, we're already kind of reaching the end of this amazing evening.
Absolutely, time flies when you're having fun.
It's going by so fast. I want more and more, but I guess we can get more, come June. But for this evening, though, what's the only thing better than a pianist? 2 pianists. Maybe even at 1 keyboard, as we'll see here in a bit. Duo, duet, you name it. The next guests are really icons when it comes to piano duos, especially in the present moment. Greg Anderson and Elizabeth Joy Rowe, the Anderson and Rowe piano duo, and their connection to the Hilton Head International Piano Competition, goes back to 2004?
And 5.
And 5. So back a little ways. And of course, since then, their names have really just taken off. These are superstars. I hear them on the radio a lot. I feature them on my show, and just am jamming out while they're playing, and you're going to be jamming out in a few minutes because they're not only great performers, but they have an eye for cinematography and taking great videos, so they just know how to engage with audiences through that.
For sure.
Make it fun, not just play at a very high level, which itself would be totally, just amazing, not knock you out of your seat, but engage the audience in other ways as well. So that's just really cool. And they played alongside other orchestras, notably the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra, other ensembles all across the globe. And their discography comprises 5 classically acclaimed albums, which have spent all kinds of weeks at the top of the Billboard classical charts. Again, some of which I've played from on Sonatas and Soundscapes. So it's just I think there's some Brandenburg concertos in there they do an arrangement of, and good stuff. And a live performance by the duo was even handpicked to appear on the Sounds of Juilliard album, which celebrates the school's centennial year. So, a big honor there to represent that American music institution in that way. So, as I was saying, they really believe in the power of music to communicate, and all their performances, their compositions, the websites, the video, the writing, all the media that they're in charge of. That all serves that mission and all brings this sense of joy, this sense of energy, and we can look forward to them coming our way 2021 this year, the Bravo Piano Festival opening up right in June. So that's going to be exciting, and I guess to kind of hold you over until then, we can enjoy a video performance of them now. Right. Really an awesome time. So enjoy this, and let's give a big welcome to Anderson and Rowe.
Hello, everyone. We are the Anderson and Rowe piano duo. I'm Elizabeth Joy Rowe.
I'm Greg Anderson, and we are so delighted to be a part of this gala event with you all today. Hilton Head holds a very special place in our hearts as former contestants. We so distinctly remember the generous hospitality, the atmosphere, the joyousness of music making, and we are so excited that we'll be able to return and visit you all later this year.
The past year, as we all know, has been full of challenges that have affected our industry in the performing arts. And certainly we have experienced challenges as a piano duo and on a personal level. One of the things that has kept us going is music. Music has been our lifeline. Music has given us resilience and hope for the future. So along those lines, we are excited to present this music video that is very close to our hearts. It is our rendition of a classic song, What a Wonderful World, and it celebrates everything that we love about life: music, nature, and of course, the beauty of humanity.
We have one more special treat to share with you all. Here's something that'll give you a taste of things to come later this year. It's a video of us live in performance.
And we're spread out on 2 pianos. Enjoy.
I mean, we throw around the term dynamic duo a lot, but that's a dynamic duo for you. If you need a mental image, I mean, going from What a Wonderful World, this tender, heartfelt, just moving, so sensitive, all the way to this frighteningly virtuosic kind of performance of Flight of the Bumblebee. I'm intimidated, but also very impressed. I mean, that was so much fun. So thanks to Anderson and Rowe for that awesome video. Great stuff.
Yeah, boy, was it ever. So thanks also to all of you. We've actually come to the end of our live stream. I want to thank once again Sandy Benson and Custom Audio Video for hosting us here in this wonderful living room. And for Interior Motives to help it feel more even so, like a living room. I also must thank the Musical Feast Committee, because this was really a daunting task for us, to be sure, and most especially Bob Koenig and Julie Williams for their hard work. Thank you, Bradley, for being our host. It was really wonderful. Yes, we can applaud somebody finally. Yeah.
Good to hear what my audience is thinking for a change.
And thank you, Alan, and thank you, John. Really, it has been just a wonderful evening, inspiring, and the live stream will remain on the website, on the Musical Feast website, for some time now. So if you have friends who you think would enjoy this, please share the link with them. Who knows? They might even end up donating a few dollars to us. We could use the help.
Would be nice.
It would be nice. And again, donations of any sort are so welcome and grateful to have them. So please stay safe, stay healthy, get vaccinated. I've had my 2. And we hope to see you in person at Bravo Piano, June 4th to 12th. Have a great evening.
Cheers.
Hey.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mona. Cheers. Here's the piano.